What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. On today's segment, we are going to talk about some Thanksgiving games. And first on the slate is going to be the Minnesota Vikings versus the New England Patriots. So obviously, as a recap, the Vikings got annihilated, to put it lightly, on Sunday, and the Patriots are coming off of a nail biter victory against the Jets. So one team's a little bit on the hotter side, the other team just got a little bit of a spanking. So Kyle, as the Patriots fan, who do you think is going to come out on top in this game and why?
Kev, I'm going to be honest with you. I would have to have balls of steel to pick the Vikings in this game, knowing what just took place on Sunday when they went up against the Cowboys. It was one of the worst losses that we'll probably see the entire year. To lose by 37 points at home, coming off of the game that they just had a couple weeks back when they played the Bills in the game of the year. Man, you want to talk about going from top of the world basically down to hell. That's exactly what happened within essentially a week time frame. So if the Vikings are going to be competitive in this game, just do the opposite of what they did against the Cowboys, and they might have a shot. But I have to be honest here. When it comes to the Patriots, their defense has been playing absolutely phenomenal the last couple weeks. And when you look at what they did to Zach Wilson and that Jets offense this past Sunday, they were impressive. To hold the Jets to 3 points, they held them to 2 total yards of offense in the second half of that game. And they only had about 100 to 105 total yards as an offense, speaking with the Jets here. So the Patriots defense came to play against the Jets, but this is going to be a bigger test for them. And when it comes to the Patriots defense and when they've been tested, they've largely struggled. You could look back to a couple of weeks ago when they played Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense put up 30 plus points. Lamar Jackson was just an absolute beast. And the Patriots defense had no answer for him whatsoever. And when it comes to the Vikings, granted, take their last loss out of the situation here for a second. The Vikings have a really good offense. You got Kirk Cousins, who's been solid this year. Justin Jefferson's probably the best wide receiver in the game. Dalvin Cook is just a model of consistency as far as I'm concerned. And then you still have TJ Hawkinson and Adam Thielen in your overall skill positions. Like, the Vikings have good talent across the board. It's just whether or not that they're going to be able to play up to snuff against that Vikings offense. And if the Patriots are going to be successful in this game, they have to bring a consistent pass rush similar to what the Cowboys did. The Cowboys got 7 sacks against the Vikings last Sunday. And if they could be able to maintain that type of consistency with Matt Judon, Dietrich Wise, if they're able to get 3 or 4 sacks, that Patriots defense is going to limit this Vikings offense. And they have a pretty good blueprint on what they need to do based off of what the Cowboys just did. And when it comes to the Vikings just need to establish some sort of ground game with Dalvin Cook. They got to give Kirk Cousins some sort of time to be able to work in the pocket simply because he had no time whatsoever against Dallas. And I think that they'll have a little bit more success in this game. I mean, I don't know how they're going to be able to do worse when they only scored 3 points against the Cowboys, unless the Patriots shut them out, which I don't see. I don't think it could be really any worse going into this game on Thanksgiving. But to put my pick, I'm going to go with the Patriots here. Now, granted, a little bit of bias. I think you guys could look at my wall and see that there's a bunch of Patriot stuff behind there. So take that into account for what it's worth. But I have more faith in the Patriots defense to be able to slow down this Vikings offense than I do the Vikings defense being able to slow down the Patriots offense. And that's not saying much because the Patriots only scored 3 points offensively against the Jets. So I think when it comes down to it, I think the Patriots are going to focus on running the ball with Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris. And I think Mac Jones, if he's able to be consistent, like, look back at the Jets game, he was very consistent in that game. He only had like 3 or 4 incompletions. If he's able to maintain that type of play against the Vikings, and as long as he limits his turnovers, I think they'll be fine. So I do think this is going to be a relatively low scoring game, simply just because I think the Patriots defense is going to be able to limit that Vikings high powered offense. So if I had to put a score on it, I think New England wins this one by the score of 23-17. I think this is going to be a one possession game when it's all said and done. But Kev, I'm just going to be honest with you. I can't pick the Vikings after that atrocity that we saw from them last week. You get blown out by 37 points. Granted, you could bounce back and definitely make a better showing. But going up against a really tough defense in New England, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them. So I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one, and they would potentially bump up to a 7-4 record if they were to get this win on Thanksgiving. So the floor is yours.
I mean, I'm just going to circle one name, Matt Judon. And if Micah Parsons and that Cowboys defense was able to get into the backfield like they were this Sunday, Judon is going to eat them alive. And I think that speaks volume because the Patriots are known for one thing, for their stout defense. The Patriots are staying alive in this division because their defense is getting it done. They're creating turnovers, and at the same time, they are also finding ways to get minimal offensive points on the board. Now, that's not an insult, but Mac Jones hasn't been able to put the ball in the end zone. The running attack has been a little bit inconsistent the last couple of weeks, but when you talk about Damian Harris being healthy, Ramondre Stevenson being there, and so many other supporting cast members, I think that this is going to be an upset for the Patriots. I agree with Kyle. The Vikings got not only embarrassed, they got blown off the door on their own field. Short week's rest in terms of coming from Sunday to Thursday's Thanksgiving game. This is a primetime game. It is at 8:20. Kirk Cousins historically is horrible on primetime. So that also leans into my favor of the prediction. Bill Belichick also takes away your most dominant weapon. Now he has a selection. Do I take away Dalvin Cook or do I take away Justin Jefferson? It really depends on what he's in the mood for. Personally, I would say take away Dalvin so you can put all the pressure on Kirk Cousins on the Sunday night lights or the Thursday night lights in this situation, and you make him beat you, just like the Cowboys made him beat them. Guys, it's recording a little early this week, so it's throwing us off a little bit. Kind of just woke up and whatnot. But the Vikings just did not show any form of competence. They didn't show any form of fight. And again, you can't even blame Kirk Cousins because the offensive line did not give him any opportunity to get into a rhythm, a comfortable throwing motion, anything. Kirk Cousins was running for his life the entire game against the Cowboys on Sunday. So you go and you look at the Patriots on a bit of a winning streak, looking to be competitive in the AFC East, looking to clinch a wild card spot, or even fight for the division, should I say, because everybody's pretty much within a game of each other. And you talk about the Vikings, and it's like I can't favor the Vikings at all. I can't give them a benefit. I can't give them anything. And with the Vikings' best corner shut down for the next 4 games, I can't really say anything to the wide receivers or the tight ends of the Patriots being able to create some separation on whatever's left over. Now, I know Patrick Peterson is there, but I know Bill Belichick will find a way to create mismatches, and whether that's going to be motion plays or whatever have you. I think the Patriots come away with a close one because, again, I don't have faith in the Patriots offense, but I think that the Patriots defense will create some turnovers if Minnesota does not fix the offensive line issues that they just had on Sunday. So I'm going to go with the Patriots in a close one, probably by the score of maybe 21-17, maybe 24-17, because I feel like they'll be able to create maybe a pick six or a fumble return for a touchdown. This defense is known to score. And at the end of the day, Minnesota will fall to 8-3 and have about 10 or 11 days of rest, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back the week after. But an embarrassing loss, 3 days rest, prime time, not a successful formula for Kirk Cousins.